Welcome, my name is Sarah Faith and you are watching Bayitzahav Ministries End Times News Watch, brought to you every 3 weeks, giving you an update of events concerning the end times. North Korea carry out mass evacuation drills. North Korea has conducted mass evacuation drills in towns across the country as possible preparation for war, it was reported on Saturday. Sources in the isolated communist country reported that the rare drills were being conducted in secondary and tertiary cities and towns over the course of the last week. There were no reported drills in the capital, which is Pyongyang. News of the drills, which included so-called blackout exercises whereby whole towns would turn out all the lights at night time so as to avoid illuminating enemy targets, was first reported by NK News. I've never heard of this type of training exercises before in North Korea, but I'm not surprised, Chung In-bum, a former South Korean military officer, said. They must realize how serious the situation is. NK News quoted an anonymous source as saying that the last time drills which approached this scale were conducted was in 2003, when North Korea carried out air raid exercises. News of the reported drills came in light of heightened diplomatic tensions between North Korea and the West. Earlier on Saturday, US Defense Secretary Jim Mattis issued a warning to North Korea that the country is no match for a decades-old American-South Korean alliance. Make no mistake, any attack on the United States or our allies will be defeated, and any use of nuclear weapons by the North will be met with a massive military response that is effective and overwhelming, he said during a news conference in Seoul on Saturday. With South Korean Defense Minister Song Yong-moo at his side, Mattis accused the North and Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un of illegal and unnecessary missile and nuclear programs, and said the threat of a nuclear missile attack by North Korea is accelerating. Mattis said North Korea engages in outlaw behavior and that the US will never accept a nuclear North. North Korea has accelerated the threat that it poses to its neighbors and the world through its illegal and unnecessary missile and nuclear weapons program, he said, adding that US-South Korean military and diplomatic collaboration thus has taken on a new urgency. I cannot imagine a condition under which the United States would accept North Korea as a nuclear power, he said. As he emphasized throughout his week-long Asia trip, which included stops in Thailand and the Philippines, Mattis said diplomacy remains the preferred way to deal with the North, and all this is happening in the day of the Lord. Moving on. Washington. In a show of force, the United States Navy, USN, has deployed 3 aircraft carriers and their missile-armed escorts to the Western Pacific Ocean for the first time in a decade, as tensions with North Korea remain high and President Donald Trump prepares to depart for Asia next week. The milestone was reached on Wednesday, the 25th of October, when the USN Nimitz and its strike group entered the Western Pacific region after operating in the Middle East, according to a USN press release. The USS Theodore Roosevelt strike group, including a cruiser and 3 destroyers, entered the region on Monday, the 23rd of October, joining the USS Ronald Reagan. The high-profile deployments are part of a larger naval build-up in the region. In addition to the aircraft carrier strike groups capable of launching Tomahawk cruise missiles, the USN announced on October the 13th that the USS Michigan, one of the service's 4 specialized submarines carrying as many as 66 Naval SEAL commandos and 154 Tomahawks, arrived in Busan, South Korea. US Navy carrier strike groups routinely deploy to the Western Pacific and the Indian Ocean, according to a service statement. These deployments are part of a previously planned deployment cycle, and it is not uncommon for incoming and outgoing carrier strike group transmit timing to overlap. As one begins the deployment, the other concludes. Still, it was a rare occurrence to have 3 battle groups in the Western Pacific at once. The last time the US Navy had a similar deployment was in August 2007, when the USS John C. Stennis, USS Nimitz and USS Kitty Hawk participated in the Valiant Shield exercise, according to the service. Experts say that presence of 3 carriers will draw attention in the region. It does send a significant signal, defense analyst Adam Mount told CNN. It is a major projection of force any time a carrier moves into a region, added Mr. Mount, who is also a senior fellow at the Federation of American Scientists. US adversaries will read something into it. CNN military analyst and former USN Admiral John Kirby said that the presence of the 3 carriers will send a message to North Korea. Japan's defense minister had asserted on Monday that North Korea's nuclear and ballistic missile capabilities had grown to an unprecedented, critical and imminent level, requiring the United States, Japan and South Korea to address the matter. US Secretary of Defense James Mattis said ahead of a visit to the divided peninsula that Washington was not rushing to war with Pyongyang and looking for a diplomatic resolution. Do we have military operations in defense if we are attacked? Our allies are attacked? Of course we do, Mr. Mattis said on Wednesday, the 25th of October. But everyone is out for a peaceful resolution. And this is happening in the day of the Lord. Moving on. The recent warning from North Korea's foreign minister of a possible atmospheric nuclear test over the Pacific Ocean should be taken literally, a senior North Korean official says. The foreign minister is very well aware of the intentions of our supreme leader, so I think you should take his words literally. Ri Yong-pil, a senior diplomat in North Korea's foreign ministry, told CNN on Wednesday. The mushroom cloud produced by the first US explosion of a hydrogen bomb at Eniwetok Atoll in the South Pacific, known as Operation Ivy. This test represented a major step forwards in terms of the destructive power achievable with atomic weapons. North Korea says the world needs to take its threat of an atmospheric nuclear test seriously. The minister made the comment after US President Donald Trump warned that North Korea, which has been working to develop nuclear-tipped missiles capable of hitting the United States, would be totally destroyed if it threatened America. CIA Chief Mike Pompeo said last week that North Korea could be only months away from gaining the ability to hit the United States with nuclear weapons. Experts say an atmospheric test would be a way of demonstrating that capability. All of North Korea's previous nuclear tests have been conducted underground. Trump next week will make a visit to Asia, during which he will highlight his campaign to pressure North Korea to give up its nuclear and missile programs. Despite the bellicose rhetoric, White House officials say Trump is looking for a peaceful resolution of the standoff. But all options, including military ones, are on the table. And all of this is happening in the day of the Lord. Moving on. A senior commander in Iran's Revolutionary Guards, IRGC, has said that the country's ballistic missile program will not stop under any circumstance, and that Tehran has missiles ready to be fired, according to state television. Iran's new defense minister, Brigadier General Amir Hatami, says the the missile program of the Islamic Republic will push ahead relentlessly, vowing to continue activities of the country's defense industry. Iran's missile program will proceed according to the approved plans, Hatami told reporters on Sunday, following the first cabinet session of the newly formed Iranian government. In response to a question about some foreign countries' pressure on Iran to stop its missile program, he added that such activities would not be affected by any type of pressure. The Iranian defense minister vowed to continue activities related to the country's defense industry with utmost power and emphasized that the Islamic Republic will not allow any suspension in the work of the defense ministry even for one day. Briefing a group of lawmakers on his future plans on Saturday, Hatami said that the current situation was special as the enemies, which is America, had imposed sanctions on Iran's military in a bid to weaken it, pledging to continue boosting the country's missile program. The enemy is stationed in the region, brings weapons to the region, and tries to damage the country's defensive might. We have set objectives in our plans to counter the move, he added. The Iranian general also held achievements made in both missile and defense industry sectors and stressed that this trend should continue. Thank you very much for watching. Please share this video and send any comments or suggestions to the email below. Please continue to pray for world peace, but above all, pray for the will of God to be done and for His kingdom to come. Until next time, God bless you and keep you in perfect peace. Amen.